Alright, we're gonna get into the show. It's called Devil in Ohio. About 7 to 8 episodes, they're 40 minutes apiece, so let's get into episode 1, Broken Fall. So it starts off at this random farmhouse, you hear a gunshot. You got this chick running through the cornfields with like a knife in her hand. We find out her real name is May later on. She's trying to stop for help for people keep driving past her, and this is at night, by the way. Next morning, we wake up to this lady by the name of Suzanne. She's a doctor, but more specifically a psychiatrist. Now, she lives with her husband, Peter, and 3 girls. Her 3 daughters, Jules, Helen, and Danny. Danny's the smaller one, and she was adopted. Helen and Jules are in high school, and they actually go to the same school. So basically, Suzanne's got to go to work early. She gets a call early in the morning. When she gets there, it turns out the urgent call was about the chick May. She's in the hospital now. Now, Suzanne tries to talk to her, but May ain't saying shit. Now, when she's laying there, the doctor has her check out her back. She sees some type of scar on her back. It's like, ugh. But we can't see what it is yet. Jules gets to school. She's trying to find a seat at the lunch table. She tries to sit near her sister, Helen, but Helen tells her like her boyfriend Teddy's about to come through. And basically, she dismisses her while they're at school. Jules is feeling like she doesn't really belong anywhere at school. She talks to this one guy by the name of Sebastian, though. And that's pretty much her best friend. And he invites her to do something at the school newspaper, do something for talent or whatever. So now she feels like she's a part of something. Danny has her own little talent show, but they don't really delve into that too much in the first episode. Now we see later on Peter gave up whatever kind of job he had to be some type of home state real estate agent. He's up talking to this guy he knows by the name of Fisk. Now he tells him about the house he was fixing up, but Fisk bought him there just to tell him like, yeah, we found a different spot. It's basically a better deal for a different home. So Peter's kind of pissed off, right? Peter's thinking to himself, I've been fixing this shit up just the way you wanted it for the last 2 years. This cost a lot of money. Fisk apologizes, but then changes the subject like, hey, we're still gonna go duck hunting and do all that stuff, right? You can tell by looking at his face, Peter's pissed the fuck off, and for good reason. But that's his fault. He should have had a written agreement. You couldn't do it off of no damn handshake deal for 2 years of work? So later on, he goes home. He's about to tell his wife Suzanne the news. But she got him all these different water bottles for his Mathis production company. And she's so excited about everything he's been trying to do. So he basically just brushes it off and says, nah, I don't have nothing to say. So she basically avoided telling her about the Fisk situation. So there you go. Next day, Suzanne goes back to work. And she gets an emergency call down the hall. It turns out it's May. See, the doctors are trying to take a blood sample. But May ain't having none of that shit. She starts throwing stuff at the doctors. So Suzanne comes there, tells the doctors to leave to try to calm him down. And she's trying to do her psychiatrist talk because she's thinking to herself, May done probably went through some serious drama. Now, when she gets off work at night, she's going through like May's files. We can see from the picture she had these serious cuts on her back. I was like, what the fuck? Later on, she joins the family downstairs. They play a game of charades. Next day, she goes back to the hospital. She sees this sheriff. The sheriff is coming through looking for this girl May, but he can't find her. And she didn't really tell him exactly where the room was. But she let her know only family members and guardians can come see her. So as the sheriff's leaving, we can see the handcuffs around there. No problem there, but when you look around his back, he's got a handsaw clipped to his belt. Now, why the fuck does he need a handsaw? So Suzanne ends up talking to the supervisor or whatever like that. Turns out she's been there for a couple days now. And they're about to send May to another hospital because nobody's came to guardians or nobody's came to see her or nothing. Basically, nobody's claiming her. Meanwhile, May's in the room just sitting up looking at the window saying no to herself and slapping herself. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So there's one scene we see Jules walking Danny home, right? She notices the window and the door is open. He's like, mom never leaves the door open. What the fuck is going on? So she looks around the house, all of a sudden mom pops up. So the kid's about to go into the family room and they see May sitting down there. We're like, the fuck is this? Basically, Suzanne took May in for at least a day until they find somebody that could adopt her or whatever like that. First off, you don't know this girl. How the hell are you just gonna be adopting kids and shit? Taking people out of the hospital because you don't want them being transferred and whatnot. She gonna stay with us for a day. You don't know what she's been through. But she on her psychiatric mode, thinking just she can help her and whatnot. I guess she just likes taking people in. Her youngest daughter's adopted. Hey, why not? Meanwhile, we go back to the hospital and a detective shows up and is like, hey, May has a case going. What kind of case are you talking about here? But apparently it's too late for that because May's chilling at Suzanne's house. Then we go to the scene with this trailer park. Turns out this is where the sheriff lives. He takes his dog out of the spot and he goes back in the house. When he's there, they focus on this upside down cross. I'm like, what's that about? So now we go back to Suzanne's house and basically the family's about to have dinner. So they about to eat and May is like, don't we have to bless the food? So May blesses the food and gives this satanic type of grace. I'm like, okay. Talk about in the form of demons, thy Lord, amen. I'm like, what's going on here? Nevertheless, they all end up eating. So the arrangement's set up like this. Jules is going to be spending time in Danny's room and May is going to take Jules' room. And everything May says seems awkward when she's talking to Jules. She likes her dress, but then she feels like it's a sin to give compliments or something or whatever like that. Bottom line, she's very awkward when communicating. Suzanne comes up and checks just to make sure May is situated. She says she's fine. Last thing we see is May getting ready for bed, but then she looks in the mirror, right? She takes off her robe and then we see the real scars on her back. The scars are carved in like a Necrocom star. I'm like, oh shit. That's some Mark of the Devil 666 shit. And that's how the first episode ends. I feel like we're getting into some demons exorcist territory right here. Poltergeist and shit. About to check out the other 6 or 7 episodes and we're gonna get it rocking. Devil in Ohio on Netflix. Check it out.